Good to have you join us on AD4TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital. I am Merciful Ajinomo. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari this Saturday, in a press release signed by his senior special assistant on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, said Nigerians should observe restrictions on movement and follow the instructions of scientists and medical advisors in order to help fight the COVID-19 pandemic. He noted that 70,000 tons of grain is being released from the National Strategic Grain Reserves for distribution to those in need, while distribution of small cash payments are also being made and will continue to be made by the federal government in state and local government areas. And the Nigerian Center for Disease Control this Saturday announced the activation of 2 new laboratories for COVID-19 testing, one in Kano and another in Plateau State. This raises the number of COVID-19 testing laboratories in Nigeria to 11. In the meantime, 4 more are in progress in Borno, Sokoto, Rivers and Kaduna State respectively.
Coronavirus, they really make you do what you fit today, can't wait. Now the cocoa thing when you owe yourself be that because it's better to survive than for water to run your eyes. Oya waka boom boom begin the use hand sanitizer, special mask and not grip for gun body at all for anywhere, especially where people boku, clear road, arrange yourself, keep social distance and practice good hygiene for house and surroundings. Do what the government tell you, sit down for house and make it for no loss. Coronavirus dey, so make we greet together, waka fight like a kozuna.
My appeal to Nigerians is that please, let's obey the social distancing. Let us obey the personal hygiene. Wash your hands. Don't go into congregation, and within 2 weeks, you go back and resume your normal life. If we don't do the right thing, we are going to face a disaster that we will not be able to handle.
This message now from the news agents of Nigeria, NAN, they can pay.
And now to news on the foreign scene. Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom and the other Commonwealth realms, in an address recorded at Windsor Castle, England, said that the COVID-19 pandemic will not overcome us. The monarch made the remarks in her Easter address, which comes at a period when the world is battling the COVID-19 pandemic that has killed more than 106,000 people. The UK is one of the worst hit countries by the pandemic, having recorded nearly 80,000 cases and over 9,800 deaths. In a related development, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres this Saturday sent a message of hope to the world that the fight against COVID-19 will be won. In his address, the 70-year-old urged the world to unite in efforts to curb the further spread of the virus, especially during important occasions in the religious calendar. Guterres' address comes as the world is celebrating the Easter holiday away from places of worship because various governments have imposed bans on public gatherings. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization this Saturday said that it is looking into a report of some COVID-19 patients testing positive again while being considered for discharge after recovering from the disease. The organization, in a brief statement to newsmen, said it is closely working with its clinical experts to get more information on those cases, adding that it is important to make sure procedures are properly followed when collecting test samples from suspected patients. Still on the coronavirus pandemic, Real Madrid's head coach Zinedine Zidane, through his charity foundation, donated medical equipment to his hometown in Beja province of Algeria to help the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. The donated equipment include 5 beds equipped with intensive care devices and artificial ventilators. The governor of the province, Ahmed Mabid, expressed gratitude to the chairman of the foundation and father of the Real Madrid coach, Ismail Zidane. United States Republican senators from all states said they have spoken with 3 Saudi Arabian officials about taking concrete action to cut crude output. Oil prices have fallen to 18-year lows as the coronavirus outbreak has closed down economies across the world and after Saudi Arabia and Russia boosted output in a race for market share. Senator Sullivan Dunn, who led the call, stated that the Saudi Arabia's action to boost production during a pandemic is inexcusable and won't be forgotten. In South Africa, the opposition party in the country, Democratic Alliance, says the extension of the country's lockdown until the end of April will create economic disaster, even as President Cyril Ramaphosa defends his decision, adding that it will not be taken lightly. The opposition party in a statement said it was a great mistake to think in terms of lives versus livelihoods. The party further argues that though each death resulting from the virus is a tragedy, so is each death resulting from malnutrition, caged citizens, domestic violence and frustrated law enforcers. The president, however, announced that senior politicians would donate a third of their salaries to help those worst affected by the pandemic and urged business leaders to do so.
Coronavirus, they really make you do wetin you fit today, kampe. Now the cocoa thing where you owe yourself be that because it's better to survive than for water to run your eyes. Oya waka boom boom begin the use hand sanitizers, facial mask, and not gree for body at all for anywhere, especially where people boku. Clear road, arrange yourself, keep social distance and practice good hygiene for house and surroundings. Do wetin government tell you, sit down for house and make it for no loss. Coronavirus dey, so make we gree together, waka fight am like a kozuna.
I'm appeal to Nigerians is that please, let's obey the social distancing. Let us obey the personal hygiene. Wash your hands. Don't go into congregation, and within 2 weeks, you go back and resume your normal life. If we don't do the right thing, we are going to face a disaster that we will not be able to handle.
This message now from the news agency of Nigeria, NAN. They can't pay.
With Africa reporting over 11,000 coronavirus cases, over 500 deaths, and 1,000 people recovering from coronavirus, the government of Kenya has imposed a curfew and partial travel restrictions on the country in a bid to curb the spread of the disease. Meanwhile, former Kenya Prime Minister Raila Odinga, in a bid to cushion the effects of hunger among the citizens amid the pandemic, donated food to thousands of residents in Kenya's Kibera informal settlement area this Friday. The situation reportedly got out of hand and a brief stampede ensued, injuring some residents. Kenya has so far recorded 189 cases and 7 deaths, with 22 patients recovered. That's it on AD4 TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital. You can join the conversation on our social media platforms at AD4 TV Radio on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at AD4 TV Radio. Many thanks for watching. I am Merciful Ajinomo.